So, good afternoon to one and all. Respected resource person for this afternoon session, senior faculty member from Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Department of Physics, Professor Sanjay Dole sir has joined our cloud meeting. So, on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, I welcome Sanjay Dole sir to this session also, as well as this uh, orientation and sensitization course valedictory also. Dr. Dole sir's qualification is MSc, MPhil, PhD. His specialization is experimental nuclear physics, accelerator physics, radiation physics, semiconductor and polymer physics. He has a vast experience of teaching and research. Also, his research interest is in radiation damage in semiconductor, polymer, and glass material. Also, he has been honored by Maharashtra state government Marathi literature in the year 2008. Has also vast publication. Also have attended conferences at national and international level. Also have major projects and collaboration. So indeed, it is really an honor and pleasure for all of us to have him here in this NEP orientation and sensitization course. Before the valedictory session, he will deliver a talk that will be interactive one. So anyone wants to have an interaction with Dr. Sanjay Dole sir, they can raise the hand. Sanjay Dole sir himself will unmute that participant and you can ask the question. And when this lecture is over, I think sir till 3:30. 3:30
Yeah, fine. I will just go quickly some of the slides.
No. If you want to take at 4 o'clock, it is also okay, sir.
No, then we'll have a discussion with the participants.
अच्छा 3:30 के बाद में आप डिस्कशन करिए और आप मेरा भी एक जगह लेक्चर है सर, तो मैं भी लेक्चर के लिए चला जाऊंगा भी 1 घंटे.
Yes, definitely. I will take care of it. I will take care
you are
of it.
over, you can just text me or you can call me, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So over to you, sir.
I will take care of it. And
Yes. If you have any technical glitch also, you can just text me or message me. I'm here in this HRDC only, but on a different computer delivering a lecture in Sagar University, Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Can you hear me? There is... Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. Then I can start now. Okay. So thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, let me thank the organizers, especially Professor Patil, for giving me an opportunity to share some of the thoughts and about the NEP implementation as such. I will much the focus on instead of making aware about the concept of NEP 2020, it is better way to try to understand the curriculum and the credit framework for undergraduate and the postgraduate programs. And then we'll eventually go for the workload formulations. But before that, for the sake of continuation, I will just go through some of the slides very quickly, in which so you will try to understand the mechanism about the credit system, because as you know that the CBC, that is choice based credit system, is by default the continuation of the NEP. And so if the those university who have already introduced CBC system, then not much difficult to implement the NEP 2020. So we'll talk almost all the verticals, including the major, minors, and the major electives and the vocational skill enhancement, and so on and so forth. But before that, I will just try to get some of the focused one. So this outline of the talk will be as follows. The NEP 2020 basics and foundation structure that everybody knows, but as I told you, it is just for the sake of continuation. So instead of going for directly curriculum, it is better way to try to understand some of the reformations and the vision of the NEP and the basics. So we'll then more discussion about the curriculum and the credit framework and then the workload calculations. So, so as such, as you might be aware about this, because there is a statement made by the Nelson Mandela, very famous statement, and it is displayed at the entrance of the entrance gate of the University of South Africa. He says that destroying any nation does not require the use of any kind of missiles or the atomic bomb or large long-range missiles. It only lowering the quality of the education and allowing the student to get the copying in the examination by the students. So this is very important and the very vital statement which has been made by Nelson Mandela, because any country, if you want to destroy, doesn't need any kind of missiles or the to prepare the atomic bomb and destroy it. But if you lower the quality of the education itself, they destroy the country. So the if really you want to have a developing country, then definitely you should have the very strong and the robust the education policy or the structure. So this is what it is said already by the Nelson Mandela, and this is every the lecture I used to put it because this statement which I really like it. So another importance of the education, because the patient who actually dies at the hands of the doctors, building collapse at the hands of the engineers, because these are the main stakeholders of the society. Money is the loss at the hands of the economics and the accounts, and the humanity dies at the hands of the religious scholars, and the justice is lost because of the judges, and this may be due to only the collapse of the education system and the collapse of the nation. So, as I told you, these are all the main stakeholders and plays very important role. So, if you want to have a very good doctors, engineers, or the religious scholars, or the judges, then definitely you should have very strong and robust the education policy, and the policy really which matters. So, what does education policy mean? Basically, the policy mean the education policy refers to the collection of rules and that governs to the education system basically. And why it is important to study the education policy? Because it helps the school or colleges to establish rules and of course get to some expectation and the accountability. Without education policy, education institute would lack the structure and unable to meet the needs of the students. So that's why the policy as such, then the education policy of the nation should have a definite the structure, and because of that, then we should have the rules and regulation which is to be followed by the school and the colleges. So what is the role of policy in education? Basically, as I already told you, to establish the rules and the procedures to function the efficiently, effectively, and the ensure the environment is connected. And the school college create standards of quality for learning and safety, as well as the expectation and the accountability. What are the features of the education? It is intangibility of many education goals, especially the priority ordering of goals and weighing of education goals and the cost of goals. So these are the main features of the education policy. Two observation which has been noted by the Supreme Courts. The two which are very important, that is today's education failed to reform human behavior, because all of us are the old the product of the old the education policy. But that old policy, what the Supreme Court, the verdict or the says, that it doesn't create a human behavior. Though the student or the people who are highly educated, but they lost their human behavior. So with increase in literacy level in the last old the structure, there's a decline in human values in the society. This is maybe because of the lack of the multidisciplinary aspect, because the last structure, the policy, which says that there is a specialized, highly specialization. If the student who does the science and physics or chemistry, but he doesn't have any kind of the exposure of the other subject. So because of the human values is not there, even if you have a very higher educated. So this is what the observation which has been observed by the Supreme Court, and they have mentioned it. So it's called for the transformation of the education system, and the Union Cabinet, this ministry, so July 2020 approved the new education policy. That is why it is also called as a national education policy, which aims to enable, which aims at universalization of education from preschool to the secondary school. So this is world-class education in India. This is 19th century the mindset. The 20th century as unit is process, and 21st century it is this is what it is called as the Sam Pitroda, who was also the responsible to have the transformation, technological transformation in the end of this 20th century. So shortest of qualified faculty and not well-defined role of faculty. This is also one of the aspect. And the political willingness to bring changes, capturing global talent, and lack of inclusive and participative culture, more so in private management. And so government regulation, that is non-profit for profit tag, that is opposition to PPP, that is public-private partnership model. So these are the things which are very vital and important, where uh, to be very specific, that the political willingness and the shortage of the faculty is the main lack the disadvantage of the particular structure, which if it is to be implemented very effectively. So hence the need of national education policy, the vision which always the NEP envisages an Indian-centered education system that contributes directly to the transforming our nation, sustainability into equitable and vibrant knowledge of society. This is what it is. We call it as a high quality education to all. So evolution of the education, this also I will mention later. Maybe it was first University Education Commission 1948-59, then Secretary Education Commission 1950-53, then the 1964-66 under the chairmanship of Dr. D.S. Kothari, was the well-known physicist, and then the 1960 it was renamed as a National Policy on Education, and there was an amendment in 1976. Then the National Policy on Education in 1986, there was a reformation and the revamp of the policy, and 1986 modified in 1992, and then again modified under the chairmanship of T.S.R. Subramaniam in 2016, and then there was the committee under the chairmanship of Kasturi Rangan committee, who has submitted report of the new education policy 2020 or the national education policy. The report was submitted on 31st May 2019, and it was approved by the cabinet in July 2020. So major reforms which has been taken, as you know, the structure, the old new education, old education policy had the higher education itself, the 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 and the PhD. But now this, the reforms, the main reform, that 50% gross enrollment ratio, which is to be achieved by 2034. This is what then one of the major objective of this reformation. The students should have the holistic and the multidisciplinary education, maybe flexibility of the subject, because if you look at the structure, then the student will learn almost all kinds of the subject from the faculties. Then there is, of course, the multiple entry exit, UG program for 3-4 years, PG program 1-2 years, and the integrated master programs, And MPhil, as you know, it is discontinued. Then PhD is there. There is an academic bank of credit, and then there are the dedicated universities, autonomous college, as well as the research universities, as well as the teaching universities. The model for the multidisciplinary education and the research universities. So this is, and they have target that every district should have the university or the at least the cluster university. So these are the major reforms. The national education policy, as you know, it was modified it was revamped in 1986 and modified in 1992. But this old national education policy, which was based on three aspects, basically three the pillars: access, the equity, and the quality. But whereas the new education policy 2020, which has been approved by the cabinet, is 29 July 2020, has the five pillars, basically the access, equity, equality, and there are two more: the accountability and affordability. So this is what the quality of education to be increased. So highlights of the NEP 2020, there are two things. And the school level 100%, the gross enrollment GR is expecting, and the GR for higher education to 50% by 2025. This is what it is expecting. So NEP 2020 will bring 2 crores of the school children back into the mainstream, and 10+2 structure of the school curriculum to be replaced by 5+3+3+4. And it will include 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi. So these are what the major highlights of the NEP 2020 national education policy. So this is what it will grow when the student who has at the age of, they will have the 12th of their, and go entering into the higher education. So this is a structure, basically the previous structure. You have 10+2+3+2, and now here 5+3+3+4, and again the higher education 3+2 or 4+1 or the PhD. These are the foundation, middle primary, and the secondary. So NEP objective: revamp the school education system, create world-class multidisciplinary higher education institution across the country, and achieve GR 82 to 100% by 2034, including the preschooling and the schooling and the higher education. To build world-class universities and to achieve the high global ranking, either it is the ranking, QS ranking, Asia ranking, whatever the ranking that we have so far, our university should stand. And I'm sure that with this kind of implementation of 2020, then definitely some of the university will come up and then get a place in the ranking, Times ranking or the QS ranking. So this is the NEP committee. I won't go into detail because someone might have covered it. So holistic, the definition, the basically holistic approach is the idea that the natural system, physical, biological, chemical, social, economic, mental, the linguistic, they are all the properties should have view as a whole, not as a collection of the part. This is what the main objective of the new education policy 2020, that it should have the holistic the education in nature. Okay. So this also, it covers the teachers, service environment culture, continuous professional development, career management and professional standards for teachers, special educator for children with disabilities, approach to teaching, and so on and so. So rejuvenating higher education, key takeaway from National Education 2020. And this is what the statement which is been made by the Honorable the Vivekanandas. The education should be holistic and man-making, life-giving, and character building. So education can unlock all doors for the progress. A nation advances in progression proportional to education and intelligence spread among the masses. Let us try to, because this was just a basic, the foundation of the NEP 2020. This was just I have explained because for the sake of continuation, we'll just enter into the curriculum and the credit framework for the undergraduate program. Because this is also essential when we go on discussing the particular structure which has been actually implemented across the Maharashtra and the country. based on the guidelines given by the UGC. So this is the introduction. In this, the NEP 2020 states that the assessment of educational approach is basically undergraduate education that integrate humanities with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM. So this is also should go hand in hand, because STEM should go hand in hand with the humanities or the commerce and management. In accordance with this, the UGC has formulated a new student-centric curriculum and credit framework, that is CCPFQ, incorporating a flexible choice-based credit system. So fundamental principle of NEP 20, learners here I have taken as the students can select their learning trajectories and programs as per their choice, because choice, the NEP 2020 is the choices given to the student, not for the teacher. But earlier, the policy was this teacher had the liberty to choice to take the subject and then teach the student. Student had no any kind of a choice earlier. So own path of life according to their talents and the interest. If the student wants to carry out their career in physics or chemistry or the humanities and languages, then definitely they can have a choice along with the other subject. So multidisciplinary and the holistic education emphasis on conceptual understanding, critical thinking, ethics, and human and cultural values and life skill. So extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing the language barriers, increasing access of the bank students. So here also it is mentioned that the technology can be used in the 2022 the curriculum, where the some of the bank student can get the benefit. The main feature of the new curriculum framework, the flexibility to move from one discipline to of the student to another one. This is quite easier for us if the choices are given. So opportunity for learners to choose the courses of their interest, and facilitating multiple in the entry and the exit option with UG certificate and UG diploma, and flexibility for learners to move from one institution to another to enable them to have the multiple. This is what we call it as a horizontal mobility. The credit can be some of the credit can be earned from the nearby the institutes of the university, and it can be deposited in their own the UD of the academic bank of credit. So flexibility to switch to alternative modes of learning. Either you can go for the offline, either you can go to ODL, or either you can online learning or the hybrid mode of learning. These are the choices which are given to the students. So definition of semester over here is a semester comprises of 90 working days in the semester. That in the 6 month and an academic year is divided into the semester. The summer term is for 8 weeks during the summer vacation. And internship, apprenticeship, work based vocational the education and training can be done in the summer term, especially by the student who wish to exit after 2 semester or 4 semester of study. So they can complete their some of the framework in their this summer term, which has 8 weeks. So regular courses may also be offered during the summer on the fast track mode to enable students to do additional courses, and HEI is a higher education institution decide to on the courses to be offered in the summer term depending on the. So this is a definition of major and the minor. This also I will discuss more in detail while discussing the structure, because we should also try to at least the teacher or the student try to understand the verticals and what are the modus operandi of the verticals. Here the major, I will just touch upon this particular aspect. That is the discipline or subject of main focus, and the degree will be awarded in this, and the 50% of the credit should be earned from this major discipline, either it is physics, chemistry, or from this science and technology faculty, or languages, it is Marathi, Hindi, Urdu, or economics or political science from the humanities. So minor discipline helps the student to gain broader understanding beyond the major discipline. If the student who select physics as a major, and then they can select minor as a chemistry or botany or whatever they want, but it should be within the discipline. For example, if a student pursuing an economics major obtains a minimum of 12 credits from the bunch of courses in statistics, then the student will be awarded BA degree in economics with minor statistics. So degree, if the student who completes 3 years, but the student who will not be awarded only the degree with the major, but major with the minor, because the student has already completed 18 credits minor and the more than 50% out of 130 or 120, more than 60 which has been completed by the student, the major. So it is always the degree will be awarded a major with minor. If the major is physics and the minor is chemistry, the major physics with minor chemistry. So UG certificate, the one has to, after completing the 40 or 44 credits in 1 year, and the student who wish to take exit, then they can take the exit by completing 44 or the 40 credits. After completion of the vocational course, 4 credit during summer the vacation of the first year. And the student can re-enter after the 7 years if they wish that they want to again join and complete their higher education, then definitely they can come. The same thing will happen to the diploma, UG diploma. The second year, if the student who completes 80 or the 88 credits, along with the complete vocational course of 4 credit, then definitely they can take exit and get the diploma course and re-enters whenever they wish. And the complete there, because 7 years is the buffer time which has been given for them to re-enter in the within 7 years. They can always come and join. This is 3-year degree program. Students who wish to undergo 3 years UG program will be awarded UG degree in the major discipline after successful completion of 3 years, securing 120 or 132 credits, because there are the credit choices which are given for the university. Either they go for the 132 credit the UG degree, or 122 120 UG degree. And the 4-year UG degree honors, this is a regular one, where 160 the credits or the 176 credit can be completed. And the another degree, 4-year UG degree honors with research. This is the one thing which is very precisely which I want to mention. Those who, the student who wish to go for the honors degree, they should complete 170 degree by 170 credit by research. The student who secures 25% or the 7.5 CGPA in the first 6 semester can choose the research stream in 4th year. So this is what the mandatory for them, that they should when they take a degree or complete their 3 years, then they should have at least 75%. Then they can go for the honors degree by research. They should do a research project or dissertation under the guidance of faculty member of the university. And the student who secure 160 credit, including 12 credit from research project, are awarded UG degrees honors by research. Here, just I want to mention, because the student who already done the basic honors by research, then definitely, and they wish to go for, they can directly be enrolled for the PhD, but they should obtain the 7.5 CGPA, or they should have the 75% secure. Then they can be directly enrolled without doing any the PG program. So this is what the advantage which has been given, because those students who are really wants to have a dedication toward the research, I'm sure that out of 100, there are 5 to 6 students are really very much interested in joining the research further. They have really this kind of advantage that they can go for the honors by research and then give. But of course, some of the rules and regulation will come by the guideline, maybe will be given by the UGC for how to enroll them directly for the PhD. Either because during honors degree, whether they should have some kind of a dissertation is there, but whether they should have at least one paper publication, or they first of all they will be enrolled for the coursework, and then after clarifying the coursework then and then, they will go for the registration process for the PhD. These guidelines may come very soon, and then accordingly, but right now we are implementing the 3-year degree program, and those colleges which are very much interested in carrying out, because it's a non-grant, and definitely are and having the research center or the research facility, they can always run for the honors degree by regular as well as the by research. So credit hours, the workload relating to the course is measured in terms of hours. A credit is a unit by which the coursework is measured. This is for the teacher especially. It determines the number of hours of instruction required per week or the duration of semester. At least 15 week. 12 week is really 15 week is a teacher-student interaction, and the thing is basically for the internet test, student interaction, and but altogether in the semester there are 15 weeks which are devoted for the teaching student interaction. So each course may have only a lecture component or a lecture and tutorial component, a lecture and practicum component, or lecture or tutorial practicum component. These are kind of a combination that the structure should have. And I'm sure that this will be the part of their workload, and only practical component. These are the combination that the work should have. So credit hours for different types of the courses. 1 credit of for tutorial work means 1 hour of engagement per course. So in a semester there are 15-week duration, 1 credit tutorial in course of 15 hours engagement. So 2 credits is 30 hours if it is theory course. And if it is 3 credit, then 45, and if it 4 credit, it is the 60 hours. So it is 1 hour class over the credit one. So means 1 theory course, 1 credit, 1 week. And for practice 1 credit course of practima or lab work, the community engagement or services and field work in a semester means the 2 hours engagement. That is 1 practicum or the 1 practical which corresponds to 2 hours and 2 credit. One credit. So 1 credit which corresponds to 2 hours for the practical, and 1 credit 1 hour for the theory. So in a semester there are 15 weeks duration. 1 credit practicum course is equivalent to 30 hours of engagement. So for the 15 week, if there is a 4 credit practical, then definitely 120 hours of the engagement. So 1 credit of seminar or internship or studio activities or field practice or community engagement service means 2 hours of engagement per week. Accordingly, in a semester, 15 weeks duration, 1 credit in these courses is equivalent to 30 hours of engagement. So this is what because they are trying to consider that the field work or the community engagement course is like a practical, because there is a mentoring system or a guideship system like a project. Then I'm sure that the government of each state, I'm sure that they are going to consider workload for the teacher for the field work or the community engagement or OGT or the project also, because this is a kind of a structure. Coding of level of the courses, because it's a prerequisite courses which has been called 0 to 99. 100 to 199 is foundation or introductory course, intermediate level courses, high level courses, advanced courses, first year master degree, second year master degree, and above courses limited to doctoral students. So these are the levels which has been used. So if you have read the undergraduate first year, second year, there are 2 semester, second year, third year, fourth year is the honors, because this is there is a higher level of the courses that can be introduced, and they accordingly the coding level can be introduced. So modified UG structure under the science and technology faculty. As per curricular dated 30 March, this is I'm talking about. I don't know whether the participant is from other state. If there are participants from the other state, then they can actually make a equivalent of this particular structure as per their convenience. So we have a modified UG structure, but this is across all the public university in Maharashtra, which has been implemented as per the circular dated 13th March 2024. So this the third part of this particular presentation that we'll have, the credit distribution. There are different verticals, then curriculum and credit framework for UG, workload distribution, and curriculum and credit framework for PG. This also we'll try to discuss because this is also on the basis of the guidelines, the structural guideline given by the UGC. So this is of course across all the country. It is meant this is uniformity is maintained. Only some credit structure, the number of credits is different. Some of the university has adopted 120 for the degree courses and 160 for the honors, but some of the university has adopted the 132 for the undergraduate and 176 for the honors. So this is of course for the sake of the maintaining the workload for the respective teacher in the state. So this will go as per this. These are the structure of the undergraduate program, which is given by the UGC, and this is maintained by every university in the country. Okay. So minimum credit requirements to award degree under each category. So major core, there's a 3-year UG program 60 or UG program 80. So the 50% credit which is being allotted, the more than 60, the 50%, which is the 50% is allotted to the major. Minor stream is 24 for 3-year degree program. Multidisciplinary, we have ability enhancement courses 8, we have skill enhancement courses 9, we have value added courses common for all UG 6 to 8, and summer internship 2 to 4, and research project is 0. So for year undergraduate program, that is honored degree, they also have a distribution. But altogether, if you look at the total, if the student who complete if one of the university in the country who has adopted this particular structure as it is given by the UGC, then the student who complete the 3-year the program, UG program, then he or she has to earn the 120 credit out of 120 credit, and this is going to be deposited in their academic bank of credit. And the 4-year degree program, it is 160. But there's in some of the state who has enjoyed the flexibility which is given by the UGC guideline. In the guideline which is given that maximum 122, the 32, and 162, 164, 176. So most of the university in the government Maharashtra, public university, I would say, has gone for the higher side of the credit system of the structure. So that is 132 and 176. So this is later grades and the grade. This come because this is what we follow. The 10 best system. You have outstanding, excellent, A very good, B plus good, B average, C and fail and absent. So these are the just the SGPA, the semester GPA is being offered. So I just want to put forth this particular important thing before the participants or the teacher, that every teacher or every stakeholder try to understand all this the verticals which has been given in the structure. Because almost all the verticals which are very the compulsory, and they are the part of the CGPA. If your vertical is part of the CGPA, then it is going to be evaluated, and that has to be taught and by the teacher, and the student has to learn it, and then it is getting evaluated by the examination process. So here the major and minor verticals, these are the major as you say. This which I already defined, but it is again, it is the discipline or subject of main focus, and the degree will be awarded in that discipline. Suppose if the student who is the science and technology faculty, there are 20-25 disciplines, and who has selected the physics as the major, then the degree will be awarded in that particular discipline which has been selected by the student as a major. The student has to complete the 50% out of 132 at least 50% the credit from the major. And the major would provide the opportunity for the student to pursue in-depth study of a particular subject or discipline, because student who has selected the physics as a major, so he is going to or she is going to study the in-depth the subject, as that is why the degree will be awarded in that particular the major subject. So the total credit to be awarded in the major is 3 year, it is 72 credit, and 4 year it is 112 credit. This is for the maximum that we have selected. So the minor here, the help a student to gain the understanding beyond the major subject, because the main objective or the main reform in this particular NEP 2020 is that the student should have the holistic nature of knowledge, because apart from their major, the student should also learn some of the subject within the discipline, within the faculty, but other than the discipline. Because the student who has selected physics, they have a choice of minor, either the botany, zoology, mathematics, economics, and so on. No problem. So, for example, if the student pursuing a microbiology major and completes a bunch of courses in statistics, then basic degree will be microbiology with minor statistics. So, the minor subject may be from the different discipline of the same faculty of DSc major. So their total credit offered, it is 18 credit for 3 years and 22 credits for 4 years. That is for the honors degree. So this is the basket list which has been given, at least in the Savitribai Phule University. The student who has selected physics as a major, so other subject he or she can select the botany, chemistry, electronic science, mathematics, microbiology, statistics, or zoology, or many more, which comes within the faculty, can be selected as a minor subject. So this is what or the student who selected botany as a major, the other subject he or she can select as a major minor. So other these vertical, other than the major and minor, the other vertical is GUE and the skill courses. So that is generic electives and the open electives. This generic electives is actually, it is across it is multidisciplinary and across the faculty. The student I've been taking a example of throughout the presentation, the example of the science and technology student. So the science and technology student who has chosen the major as a physics, or the physics as a major subject. Then the minor chemistry as a minor. Then the student can select the OE or GE from other faculty, that is humanities or the commerce and management, or the interdisciplinary if it is available. Then this is what the BSc student will take subject from the arts and commerce faculty. The student, I have taken the example of the student who has taken the physics as a major and the chemistry as a minor, and he's from the or she's from the science and technology faculty. As a science faculty designed the GOA course for the arts and commerce faculty. So it is challenging for every BOS, the chairman of the science and technology, that one should attract the student from the humanities or the commerce management, or the humanities BOS has a challenge that they should attract the student from the science and technology to take their GO, GE or OE. So design the course content of our subject knowledge so that the students who are not aware about the subject can be interested to learn. This is across the faculty. Okay. And because the student has selected the major and the minor from the science and technology, can take a GO from the other faculty like humanities and the commerce and management. So it is to be offered in first and second year only, and it has to be completed in the 2 year. So total credits offered is 8 credit, the GO. So say 8 credit is much more, because it is 1 hour 8 credit, maybe 15 hours, 15 multiplied by 8 hours. So maybe more than 100 hours the student will learn about the multidisciplinary aspect of the course. So another one is skill enhancement course. The skill enhancement course is the student who I have taken the example, as you know, the student who has a major as a physics from the science and faculty, and there are many the discipline which comes under the science and technology, maybe mathematics, statistics, the botany, zoology, chemistry, and so on. So or microbiology. This skill enhancement course, the student who has selected the major as a physics, then uh, he or she can select ACC, skill enhancement course, from other subject, other discipline. Either they can take the skill enhancement course from botany, zoology, mathematics, statistics, chemistry, or microbiology, or any other subject. Or the student who is from botany can select the SCC course from skill enhancement course from other discipline, but within the faculty. So it is to be offered in first and second year only, and total credit 6 credit is offered. So vocational skill courses, this is related to the major subject. Vocational skill enhancement course is related to the major subject. So the vocational skill enhancement course compulsorily related to the major. So it has to be learned. There is no any choice. Okay. The student who has selected the physics as a major subject, then the physics related, the vocational skill course, the student has to compulsorily learn. Okay. So total credit offered is 8 credit. Example is already given. So here the basket list, because the student, as I mentioned, is from the science and technology, who has taken physics as a major and the minor as chemistry. Their basket, the GOE which can be selected: English, Hindi, history, geography, education, logic, sociology, political science, any other. He or she can select the GOE from any other the faculties, either from the humanities or any other subject apart from their own faculty. So ability enhancement courses, this is the compulsory and across the faculty. It is to be offered in first and second year. First year English is compulsory for all the faculties. Even if the student is from the science faculty, he has to or she has to learn the English as a compulsory. And second year, choose the either Marathi, Hindi, or any other language. This is what we call it as the modern Indian language. And this is being offered by the university, and it is in the structure itself. And this is total credit is 8 credit. The Indian knowledge system is another the important. Generic IKS is to be offered first year. This is across the faculty. All faculty student has to learn the generic IKS. This is Indian knowledge system, which has been already defined by the UGC. So major subject specific IKS is to be offered in the second year. This is related to the major subject. If the student who has selected major as a physics, so there is a physics related IKS. If there is a chemistry major, then there is a chemistry major related. If there is a botany related IKS, so the student has to learn compulsorily that one. So value education course, it is to be offered in the first year only. This course is common to all college students, and this is environmental science, or most of the viewers from the science faculty or the science and technology faculty, those who have selected the value education courses, environmental science, and those are from the humanities, the commerce management, they have selected the understanding of India or the constitution of India. These are four the grade, their basket is given, accordingly they can select. And co-curricular courses, this is activity based, but it is a part of CGPA. So it has, though it is a mentoring kind of thing, but it has to be evaluated. So it is to be offered the first and second year only. NSS, NCC, Youth Red Cross, Yoga Kala, Mandal, event participation. And there are the many the basket list which has been given, from where the student has to select and then get it done. So there are total credit is 6 credit. So this is the credit framework for the undergraduate. Before 30 March 2024, we had earlier the single major which was defined in the first year itself, and that was the structure basically, with the major core, major elective, BSc, and IKS. The field effect OGT and CP, and minor GOE, ACC. These are all what we have discussed so far. And this is each semester 22, 22, 22, 22, and this is altogether 132. And for honors degree by research or regular, it is 176. So what was the problem with this particular structure? Because I don't know whether the teacher who is from the other state and they are having the major which is being selected after the 12th in the first year, then they should have this kind of structure. So this the major itself which was defined in the first year and which was actually implemented in the last year 2023 for the autonomous colleges and the PG section on the campus and the campus who run the UG program. But they faced some problems that because student who doesn't know how to select the major at the first year because they are not aware about it. Only they depend on their relatives, they depend on their parents, they depend on their friends. Only the few students who really like the physics, chemistry, they wanted to really go for that. Otherwise, they are relying on this. Suppose the student who selected in this particular structure, the physics as a major in the first year, and he continues and he completed the first year. But eventually, when he entered into the second year and failed, that he is not at all interested in the physics, then there is a problem because there is no choice which is given that the student has to select the another the major in the second year. Because this will continue the second year as a major, in the second year as a chem physics as a major, third year even in the honors and the till PG. So there was no any choice given to the student where they can take a choice and then accordingly of their interest. So this was the first year, and these particular anomalies or there are the some the questionnaires which has been this question which has been raised by the autonomous colleges and put forth to the steering committee. And steering committee who gave a serious thought about it, and then they thought that this sum after 12 because student doesn't know what kind of subject that he or she is interested in. So it is better that one should give a choice. At least three choices should be given to them, and keep all other the verticals as it is. So this three subject verticals. So that's why they issued the notification, the circular. Government issued the circulation in 13 March 2024, and they sat with all the pro vice chancellor of the public university in Maharashtra, and they took the undertaking that which university wants to go for the old, whether the single major which is defined at the first year, and who wants to go for the choices which is given to the second year, the first year itself. So this is what the structure. Otherwise, everything is maintained here. So I will not go into all the syllabus structure and everything. So this is the first year. This is a structure where it was defined the major which is defined at the first year, second year, and the major which keep on. So this was the circular which was issued on 13 March 2024, where the three choices were given to the student, and the most of the public university has adopted in the Maharashtra. So this is a structure which is right now is getting in touch. So this is the first year where the subject 1, subject 2 and subject 3, and there are the other OEG, ACC, IKS, AEC, VC, CC and total, and this is 22. So two close because the first and second first year, the subject 1, suppose I will take example here. The student who is from the science and technology faculty, and he has chosen the physics, chemistry and mathematics. Subject 1 physics, subject 2 chemistry, subject 3 mathematics. And there are other the IKs, other verticals are remain as it is because that is compulsory. So during this particular, this is 2 theory practical, 2 theory credit and 2 credit practical, 2 credit theory and 2 credit practical. So the subject 1, the student who completed in the first year is 8 credit. Subject 2, chemistry, there is completed 8 credit, and the third is mathematics. She has completed 3. And other there are 44 credits which the student has completed. So when the student, he or she entered into the second year, now they have to select a major and the minor. So, and the ones out of subject 1, 2, and 3, one subject has to compulsorily drop out. The student who felt that he is not at all or she is not at all interested in carrying the career in mathematics, he doesn't like mathematics, so he dropped out. So he continued with the physics and the chemistry, but he is interested in doing physics and make a career in the physics itself by taking a higher education. So first year, he or she has already completed the 8 credit, which has been carried forward as a major and the minor as a chemistry. Okay. And there are other verticals kept as it is. So here, the major which is in the second year, major which is divided into 4, that is major core, major electives, vocational skill courses, and the field project, OGT, and CP, that is community engagement, the program or the course, and the minor. And other verticals remain as it is 20 to 28. So 88 which has been completed by this. So when the third year which is dedicated to, because almost all the verticals, other verticals, that is OEG, ACC, IKS, AEC, VC, CC are completed in first year and second year. Only third year, the most of the major and the minor. Minor is also left only 2 credits. So it is only the major, the credit which are completed. So out of 132, the major are 72 because the 10 plus 8 plus 8 plus 44 are the major and the 18 credits are minor, and other verticals which here completed and they are carried forward to the fourth year, that is honor degree, by the regular one and by research one, that is 176. This is what the major most of the university which has adopted this, because student has been given a choice in the first year and then accordingly which has been selected by this. This is the nomenclature. What is VSC? What is OGT? Which I already told you the full forms. Now I'm coming to the last part of this, because most of the teacher having this kind of doubts that what will happen to their workload, because if you have this kind of a structure along with the different kinds of verticals. What about the verticals and what is their consideration for the workload calculations? Here, the first year, because workload is always defined, I will just define first of all. The workload of the teacher is defined that way. 1 credit course, 1 hour, 1 week, and assistant professor 1 week, and the practical course 2 hours per week. Okay, and this is for 1 credit. If there is a 4 credit, 2 credit, 3 credit course, accordingly you can multiply. And the workload is being considered for, according to the UGC guidelines and the government of Maharashtra, the workload for assistant professor is 16 hours per week, assistant professor. For associate professor, that is 12 of the 14 hours per week for the associate professor, and 12 hours per week for professor. And if the professor is head of the department, then 2 hours of relaxation as far as the administration is concerned. So this is what the nomenclature, and that has to be considered here. So here, you know the structure that you have already kept in mind, because in the first year, we are calculating for the first year and the first year basic and the per week. The workload is always defined per week and the per semester. If it is maintained throughout, then throughout the year, it can be maintained. Consider a college has 1 division, 120. This is what it is approved by the government of Maharashtra earlier. New guidelines is yet to come. If the new guideline has not come, because they have not defined it, what should be the size, the base size for the verticals, that has not been done, and what should be the practical size for the project size. So, and having 4 subject or 3 subject, base size of the first year is 15 students for the practical. So case 1 is, this is just for the comparison, the CBCS pattern, the 120 student for each subject. Therefore, 8 batches for each practical subject. Workload for 1 subject for semester. The teacher who is from the other state, definitely they can put their the credit system as per their structure. This just as an example, we're just comparing these two. Three objects. In case of earlier, the CBCS, the government, the jointly used to calculate on the basis of this particular structure. We had 4 credit theory and 1.5 credit course. So 6 hours, because now the 1 class hour is 60 minutes. Now earlier it was a 50 minute. So it is 5 hours and 3 hours multiplied by 8 batches. It is 20 altogether. 24 plus 6, it is 29 hours, and 29 hours divided by 16 to 2 faculty, 2 assistant professor can be justified. This is what, which is a per semester I am talking about. The second semester will repeat the same thing. So the same 2 professor for the science and technology can be maintained their workload as it is. But when you have introduced, we have introduced the old the structure, the credit structure, wherein the student has to offer the major subject in the first year. So that time for the major subject, so the workload for one subject for a semester, major 4 credit and 2 credit. 4 credit is 4 into 2 batches, because we have considered because for major, if you define in the first year, it's very difficult to get the students. You may get only 20. You never get 120 or 200 students for the physics or for the chemistry or for the botany. You will get only 20, 23 or so. Even if you get 30, then there are 2 batches, 4 hours multiplied 2, that is 12. Minor 0, there is no minor right now in the first year. GOE is 2 credit practical, 2 hours, that is 10 hours. So they 23 hours. So 1.5, the assistant professor can be justified. So there was quite the problem with the workload when we were introducing the major in the first year, because it was very difficult to cope up with the or justify with the workload. But in the third case, when we introduce the last structure where the student had been given the choices, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. Because in the subject 1, there is one division, because the student who has selected physics, chemistry, and mathematics, the 120 student will learn the physics, 121 student will learn the chemistry, and 120 student will learn the mathematics. So accordingly, suppose if there is 90 students for each subject, therefore there is 6 batches. It's just an example, because we're considering the college who is from the remote area. Those who are from the urban area doesn't have the problem of the student strength, but definitely those who are from the rural areas or the taluka place, then definitely they have the crunch of the student. Then we have considered the 90 student and the 6 batches, 2 credit theory, 2 credit practical. This is 26 hours. The minor, there is no minus, so 0 hours. GOE is 1 credit theory, 1 credit practical. This is 5 hours. Altogether, it is 31 hours divided by 60. Almost it is 2. The assistant professor can be justified, or there is 1 associate or the 1 the assistant professor can be justified. So depending on the workload, then you can justify your professor or assistant professor or the assistant professor. Basically, but you have to justify the assistant professor. This example, I have taken it for the science and technology student, where the practical is being introduced. Okay, practical is being introduced, is a part of it. If there is a practical, then you have a workload is double. This is what we say, that 1 credit 2 hours per week. If it is 4 credit, then there will be 60, or 4 credit, then it's a 20 hours throughout the semester. So this is what. But when you come to the humanities, which does not have any kind of a practical, but now we have introduced practical itself. But I don't know whether government is going to consider the practical this batch wise, or they will consider their practical division wise. But definitely most of the universities in the Maharashtra, they have introduced practical in the humanities, because there are many language laboratory has come up. So why not the student from the humanities or commerce minority should learn the practical aspect? So that's why it has been introduced. But the humanities has a different aspect, because they don't need, because they're all theoretical course. So this is for the humanities framework. Consider the college as 1 division 120, and the subject is politics, history, economics, and English. There are 3 subjects you can have choice, and the 15 students are the batch wise. But here we are not considering the batch. So 120 student for each subject, workload for one subject for one semester, 8 lectures only. So this is 7 hours. But if you want to calculate per week, per semester, it's very difficult to justify even one single one assistant professor or the one associate professor. So for languages, we have altogether for the 3 years. So that one for CBC years, all 3 years workload for department who has specializations, 32 lectures. So 8 FY 8 lectures, SY 12 lectures, and TY 12 lectures, altogether 27 hours. So the 2 professors for that particular humanities, either for the Marathi, either for the Hindi, economics or political science, or any other subject, with the 2 professors or 2 assistant professors can be justified. So this is, I will not talk much about this, the structure wherein the major which was defined in the first year, where you cannot justify, you can justify only one, that is the professor. Okay. But in the case where we have introduced the 3 subject as a choices for the student took combination of 3 subject. The workload for one subject for one semester, and the major 4 credit 4 hours, minor is no, GOE 2 credit theory 2 hours, this 6 hours, but all 3 years it is 44 credits plus 8 credit major electives. But at a VSC, there's a vocational skill in the courses, 60 hours, that is equal to 30 hours, 9 hours for minor and 4 hours for GOE. If you come together, it is coming 43. And if you divide it by 16, then 3 in this particular structure that I have given it for the where the choices are given, there are 3 the assistant professor or the combination of the professor to assistant, one associate to the assistant professor can be justified very well for all the 3 years program of the humanities, either for it is a special course like the Marathi, Hindi, economics, political science, psychology, or any other this subject. Now, if you introduce practical, then this will increase. Okay, but I don't know whether government is going to consider the practical science as we're considering for the science and technology. But even if it is considered one division as a practical, 2 hours will get benefit. Then I'm sure that because of the practical introduction of the practical in the humanities or the commerce and management, they will justify one more. Here is the 3, the one more because of the practical, one more assistant professor can be justified. This is the last slides. This is about the PG and the PG framework. Here also there are 22, 22, 22, 22. That's 88 credit course. There are 4 semester. In the major, it is divided into major core, major electives, research methodology, internship program, and the research project. So if you multiply by the 10 theory 10 hours, 4 is multiplied by 2, and it is 8 hours. Then if you add it, basically, then that is in the first semester, there are 28 hours or 30 hours. So it is and divided by the 16, then the 2 assistant professor can be, and it can be maintained throughout this. Either it is one assistant professor or associate professor or professor or assistant professor. If there is one professor whose workload is 12 hours or 10 hours, if is the head of the department, then that means the other will have a benefit. There are 2 assistant professor can be justified more. So this is for throughout this first, second, third, and fourth, you can maintain the 30 hours. In the case of third and fourth, because there is a project is being introduced where 32 hours and 34 hours. So that's why if the college or the university is having the post-graduation program, then definitely the associate professor and the 2 assistant professor can be appointed on the sanctioned position. This is what the workload which has been justified. So with this slide, I'm sure that you may have had an idea, because I have made this particular presentation right from the beginning, by the basics of the NEP 2022, then the revision, and then reforms in the NEP 2020, and then curriculum credit work, and then framework and the workload. So if now we'll have discussion, the 10 to 15 minutes. Those teachers who is having the doubt in their mind about their workload, and I don't know whether how many of you understood this particular the slides of the workload, but definitely I would like to discuss more in detail if you have any question. So thank you very much for listening very patiently, and so I'm inviting the question. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, participant.
Can I stop the sharing?
Yes, sir, you can stop the sharing. So participant and question, you can unmute themselves. I will already permitted. It's 2 minutes. Okay. So participant, you can unmute themselves.
Just a minute, I'm just yeah, please ask.
सभी प्रतिभागियों को विनंती है, मैंने आपको परमिशन दी है, आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं.
Open data shows, as per policy, that
Huh?
total
So we can take a break of 15 minutes. डोले सर
हाँ
एक 15 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं सर हम 15 मिनट
ठीक है सर मग किती
हाँ
वाजता
15 मिनट का ब्रेक
किती वाजता join
15
व्हायचं?
मिनट हाँ 15 मिनट का ब्रेक लेके फिर से हम ज्वाइन हो
मग 4 वाजता 4 o'clock?
हाँ 4 o'clock
हाँ हाँ
yes
if there are no questions
Okay,
then
sir,
we
okay,
can take
okay.
a break. We can take a
yes
break.
yes 15
मी असंच चालू ठेवतो बरं का सर.
yes
how we can accomplish the figure, how
हाँ
will give some
नहीं सर we can take 15 minutes break कोई प्रॉब्लम
somebody is asking question. Hello.
No, sir, someone, no any question, sir.
No any question. Okay, then we'll take a break of 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I will keep as it is, and I will come around 4 o'clock. I'm joining.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Please. Thank you very much.
सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
अभंगाचे ओवीचेही माया बोलीचे माहेर
वाऱ्यातही मराठीचे दिवे लख घरोघर संत महंतांचे विरागी गीत आमुचे वादळाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे तंतु तंतु संघर्षाचा पैठणीत भिनलेला
नक्षीतच पक्षी पक्षी विजयाचा मिळलेला
सोन पहाट उदयाचे गीत आमुचे उजेडाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे प्रज्ञेचा सूर्य नवा शब्द शब्द उजळून गेला समतेचा संगराचा अर्थ ढाळून गेला विराट विशाल संस्कृतीचे गीत आमुचे जीवनाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
Thank you, Amol. You can make Patil sir as a co-host also. Thanks for making him a co-host. So on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, I welcome today's chief guest of this valedictory function, Professor Sanjay Dole sir, who has given his insightful lecture on NEP 2020 to us for past 1.5 hours. And now, as a valedictory function of this NEP 2020, Dr. Sanjay Dole sir is here as a chief guest for this valedictory function. Also, we have today with us President of this valedictory function, Director of this UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, Professor Satish Patil, sir, who has joined this cloud meeting. So again, I welcome him on behalf of this entire group to Professor Satish Patil, sir. This journey of this NEP orientations and sensitization course, which we have started from the 1st of this October, and today is the last day of theoretical part, and tomorrow there will be an exam. So 11 days, in that 8 working days, we have covered for this NEP orientation and sensitization. And in that, majority of topics like Indian knowledge system, holistic and multidisciplinary education, academic leadership, governance and management, then students' diversity, inclusive education, research and development, then higher education in society, information communication and technology, and skill development. All these important topics were covered in this 8 days working, which will be fruitful to the research scholars. The research scholars are also there in this course, and also the faculty members, the NEP warriors, we can say the faculty members, the NEP warriors, those have been shouldered the responsibility of implementing this NEP 2020. So I hope that whatever message you have got from this course, you will carry forward that message to your friends, to your colleagues, to your students. So not taking much time, I would now request Professor Sanjay Dole, sir, to deliver a valedictory address to all of us.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. As you rightly said that because this is the orientation program which has been run since last 11 days, and working days maybe 8. So the president of this particular concluding session of the coursework, our friend Professor Satish Patil, and course coordinator Dr. Jaffrey, and most of the participants I have seen, there are more than 50, and I am sure that it is widespread, the participation from across the country. Of course, the most of the participants might have attended from the Maharashtra, but the way that Dr. Jaffrey has mentioned about the most of the topic which has already been covered, and that is very important as far as the NEP 2020 is concerned, because the title of this particular coursework itself, I really liked it. That is orientation and sensitization. Orientation is, of course, is the bit word that already we know, but sensitization about the NEP 2020 is very important, and it should not to be done only for the teachers, but also across all the stakeholders. Stakeholders, I would say that the right from the student, teacher, principal, and the management, and maybe the parents. Because this I always mention, and whenever we go and attend this kind of a workshop, being a resource person or maybe because that is our duty to make aware about this implementation across all the affiliated colleges in the university, and of course in the all public universities. So I always mention, because if first of all the teacher should try to understand all these mechanisms about the NEP 2020, as I already mentioned in the introduction of the part of my presentation, because without which you will not be able to convey this to your student. And because student still is in the confusion state, because they doesn't know the what should be the major, what should be the minor, because they doesn't know. Because once 3 days back, I visited one of the place which is from the remote area, the college like Junnar, and the Akole College, the Rajur. So there I had an interaction with the student because I didn't interact with the teachers. I had an interaction with the students, and I asked them, how did you know about the structure that has been implemented by the university? The most of the student from science and technology, they were quite aware about the structure, because two students stood up and they told that because I have taken this particular combination, the subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, and the second student also had told about the combination. But when I asked the student from the humanities and the commerce management, they were at all not aware about it. So I told teacher that because that is their responsibility to make aware about this particular structure, and what going to the gate the kind of a knowledge from the major, minor, or the across all the verticals that has been mentioned in the structure. So the once the teachers understood this particular the mechanism, then they will definitely tell to the student, and the student knows and they are quite confident. Then I'm sure that they will convey their all the knowledge to their parents, and the parents is well satisfied. Then I'm sure that this is getting the implemented. As far as all the administrative concern about the NEP 2020, the principal and the management is also being aware about this particular aspect, and I'm sure that the most of the principal across all the Maharashtra, they quite aware about the facts about the NEP 2020 implementation. And most of the when I interact with the teacher and the principal, their more concern is about the workload of their respective teacher, and what will happen to the workload if you introduce this kind of structure. So now I have because we have prepared with the, because so far the government has not given any kind of a guidelines for how much the what should be the division, what should be the batch size for the practical, for the science and technology, for the humanities, commerce and management, what should be the batch size for the verticals, basically IKS, generic and the subject specific, and the OE, open electives, generic electives, or ACC skill enhancement course. So that has not been yet the declared or the but yesterday and the day before yesterday there was a meeting here about the steering committee Sukanu Samiti, who actually had a lot of conversation on this particular issue. And there is one jointly Mr. Bondar who has submitted the report. And I'm sure that within the coming years, the coming days, the government of Maharashtra will definitely will release some of the guidelines on this particular basis, on the basis of the recommendation given by the Sukanu Samiti or the steering committee. So no, not to worry about, but I'm sure that the whatever I will just assure the teacher that whatever you teach, whichever is the credit, either it is grant or non-grant, doesn't matter, because when you are going to implement NEP 2020, this kind of wall is not there. This kind of boundaries is not there, that the teacher is from grantable, teacher is from non-grantable, or non-grant the course or grant course, because almost all the verticals are non-grant. So, and the NEP teacher has to teach these verticals. So I'm sure that the government will get some of the guidelines on this particular issue very soon, and then once it is released, then we'll have one more discussion, one more the aware program about for the teachers and the principals, and they have an interaction about this. So need not to worry about this. Whatever it to teach, either it is IKS generic, it is OE, either it is CC. CC is also a part of the CGP, because it is part of CGP, it is part of your the workload. But only the government is quite reluctant about taking the workload for the OGT, CP, that is community engagement programs, and the field project. But they says that it is kind of a mentoring. and the mentoring doesn't have any kind of a practical component. So it's just a because there is no any kind of a preparation for the teachers, so they are quite reluctant. But the project, they also mentioned the project is the same way that the teacher do it. So are we convinced the particular authority of the Sukana Samiti, and the Sukana Samiti also told the government that the project is a different kind, and the project is the part of the they like a practical, because if there are 3 students who are carrying out their project under the guidance of many teacher, then the teacher has to put up a lot of efforts, right from selecting the problem and the literature survey and the plan for the experiment, involve in the experiment, get the result, analyze the results, and then to go for the publication, either in the conference or the either it is oral or the poster, and then dissertation, and then evaluation, and then so this is the project is I'm sure that is a part of the curriculum. Every subject, every art vertical is a part of the credit system, the workload. And so when you teach the any credit, it will be a part of it. So do not worry about it. Even the co-curricular, even though it is a activity based, but the some of the student who is carrying out their NCC program or NSS or Red Cross or any other, because there is the bucket list which is given. From there, the student can select. If there are 10 students who has been assigned to the teacher, then that is their responsibility to take all the records, what he has done under that program, and then get evaluated in a proper way, because that is a 2 credit in each semester. So this is what every teacher has to spend some time doing some experiments or doing some guiding the students. So out of 132 or out of 122, whatever you teach, whichever is the vertical you teach, that will be the part of it. This is just I want to mention again, because which I have not mentioned during my presentation. I thought that I will now let you know. So as you know, this is the progress of the NEPs very well, very nicely, because as I told you in the presentation itself, because it's the students, the overall the growth of the personality in terms of the multidisciplinary aspect, the student who is not only the specialization in the one subject, but also having the knowledge of other subject. So this is again very good the aspect that NEP 2020 has. And I'm sure that the NEP 2020 will be adopted very soon by all the stakeholders, and it will get very smooth functioning maybe within coming 2 to 3 years. Any concept, when you conceptualized or initiate, then it takes some time to get explored. Because I'm sure that the NEP 2020, because when it was passed by the cabinet in July 2022, the first 2 years went to make aware about this particular NEP 2020 among all the stakeholders, including the society. And then we implemented in 2023 in autonomous colleges and then some of the campus on the department on the campus. So this way that we have implemented this gradually, and I'm sure that another 4 year to 5 year, one batch is fully the pass, then definitely we'll have the very good outcome of this particular NEP 2020, and everybody will get this particular benefit. So thank you very much for inviting me as a chief guest, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
also the inviting me to deliver a lecture, because this is the teacher to whom we should grill them, because this is like a chain reaction, because once they know all the concept, then they will tell another 2 to 3 people. Another 2 to 3 people will get the expert, and then another. So this is kind of a chain reaction. So I'm sure that all the teachers who are attending is having most of them, whatever the doubts in their mind have been cleared up. So thank you very much once again, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time,
Thank you very much.
delivering a lecture as well as concluding this entire course through your valedictory address. So, not taking much time, I would now request our Honorable Director, Professor S. Patil, sir, to deliver a presidential remark to this valedictory function.
Good afternoon, all of you. The chief guest of this today's valedictory function for this NEP orientation and sensitization program, Professor Sanjay Dole, sir, my colleague Dr. Rafe, and you all distinguished teacher fellow participants. Since last 10 days, we tried our level best to invite the renowned resource persons and subject experts to interact with you on every aspects of NEP, particularly the core areas which has been defined in the NEP 2020. In fact, in many of the institutions, we have started even before NEP implementation, changing teaching pedagogy as well as techniques, teaching techniques. But you know that the special feature of this NEP 2020 is that inculcation of skills, courses, job-oriented courses, on-job trainings, and even the the aspects of innovation, incubation, and communication, which is a part of the curriculum. And the most important part is that NEP 2020 is highlighted for the outcome-based framework. Now we need to change our mindset to include each and everything what is required to shape up the career of the students as per the NEP guidelines into the framed curriculum. That is very much important because being a teacher, you should have to have a commitment to the students, society, and excellence also. And we should also be after the maintain the basic human values to become a good teacher. And as being a good teacher, we should see that by all means we should be able to frame up we should be able to frame the career of the students. That is very important. You know that even in earlier teaching curriculum, there were so many things which we tried to implement, but particularly the skills, the technical or technological skills, subject matter skills, even the personal and behavioral skills, and learning, unlearning, and relearning skills. That is a special feature of this NEP 2020. I think we should bring it into a framed curriculum. Now, whenever we would like to groom, we should be after grooming the students. We should see that the overall personality characteristics should be developed. And what is our role? That is very important because you know that every individual has a certain career interest, aptitude, and even personality characteristics. But a structured framework of the academic learning, along with the development of personality characteristics, this will help to shape up the students holistically. And that is what it is very important to inculcate into the frame curriculum a common personality characteristics as well as specific personality characteristics. That is a very, very important thing that we should not forget. And we should be able to understand the environment in which we would like to groom the students. And even we should, being a teacher, we should introspect ourselves to understand that interest of the students are to be nurtured or not, because that is very, very important. And what is required for the student's career is that the self-interest and aptitude. That is very important that we should take care of it. I think you might have interacted with every resource person. We tried our level best to invite the resource person from the pan India. And I believe that during this session, you might have bagged so many things which will help you to take it to the students as and when, wherever you are, as and when it is possible. I thank you all of you for a patient hearing in each and every session. during last 1 week, and I also believe that you will also update to it the knowledge what you gained, the insights what you have developed during this course to your colleagues also, and share it to your colleagues and your students also to see that it will help them to shape up their career. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, my special thanks to our today's chief guest for sparing his valuable time and concluding this event through his lecture and valedictory address. Also, my special thanks to all the participants, those who have actively participated in this 11 days, 8 working days program. I hope that this NEP orientation and sensitization course will be benefited to all of you, and you will carry forward the message as rightly told by Sanjay Dole sir, that you will get awareness of this thing to 3 peoples, and that chain will be continued till we achieve the true objective of this NEP 2020 to become a 5 trillion economy, to be a developed nation, and to lead the entire world in the coming days as the youngest population of this entire globe. So, not taking much time, with the permission of our Honorable President, I declare that this valedictory function is over, and I would now request Amol Madan to start the national anthem, and I would request all the participants to stand up for national anthem, all the persons, those who have joined this meeting.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, Amol. You can stop this cloud meeting. You can end this cloud meeting now.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for joining.
Thank you, Dole sir.
पाटील
Dole
सर,
sir, thank you.
चला भेटूया आपण मग हा.
हो सर, भेटू. येस सर, भेटू. थँक्यू सर.
त्यानिमित्ताने तुमची भेट झाली. चला
हो, येस.